Well, it's almost too late now. All the plans have been made. All the planning is finished, as England and Italy are all but on this immaculate Wembley turf. Looks in fabulous condition. A little greasy as a result of the rain that we've had here over the past 2 or 3 hours. And has it rained? Incidentally, there's one psychological plus for England. The under-21s have beaten Italy at Ashton Gate tonight. 1-0, a goal from Darren Eadie that we saw early in the second half. And all sorts of battles going on here tonight. Teams were late in. The Italians wanted the benches moved so they could be nearer the pitch. You're right about that, Ray Wilkins. They had no chance of doing that. They've turned the lights out now as well, it seems. Benches stay where they are. How do we look then? Do we look businesslike or do we look nervous, would you say?
Well, I've never seen Alan Shearer look nervous, even through Euro 96. Did you? No. I think this is the worst part for the players anyway. Anyone will tell you this isn't a very pleasant situation to be standing there waiting. They just want to get on the action now. If any time that you're nervous, it's now.
Well, how about Ian Walker behind him, who deputises for David Seaman tonight? And Graham Lasso behind him, who's come back from a horrible injury, has completed here tonight. He'll be absolutely delighted.
I think we'd be kind of say Ian looks focused, not so much nervous. He looks as if he's really concentrating. You're not much, Robert.
I'll tell you something, I'm nervous now sitting here. Extremely so.
I think it's nice to concentrate on the lads who are back. You know, we've all concentrated on who's missing. Graham Lasso is a great story. When he looked a terrific England player and got a terrible injury. Nice to see him back, and nice to see Sol Campbell in to build on a brilliant debut. And David Batty, who looks more and more an international all the time. We haven't mentioned him too much.
And we've barely spoken about David Beckham. I think the delay now is that the teams have got into the tunnel too soon. Now we've got the nod. Now we've got the nod. And just wait until they step into the arena here.
Dare I say, I've never seen this referee have a bad game either.
Really? Well, that's encouraging.
Fair comment, is it?
Mr. Poole from Hungary. He might need to be strong tonight, eh?
I don't think so.
Wonderful atmosphere, Brian, isn't it? Should lift an England international. We heard from Roy Hodgson earlier, who said, well, I'll tell you something, it's not going to worry anybody in the Italian side. They've seen this and more plenty down the years. I suppose that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, as a player, it really helps you when the fans are really up for games. And that's why, if you look back over the years, the real important fixtures at Wembley, we've never lost, really. We've always won, or we've always got a point from the big games at Wembley. And the fans do make a difference on that. I mean, Euro 96 proved that, the way the players lifted themselves, you know, all the way through the championships.
The expectation levels are so high. 3 points is your immediate thought, but OK, let's put some perspective in it. Would a point here tonight then be a good result?
It wouldn't be a disaster, but it means that you've got to go away to Italy and do exactly the same to the Italians and what they've done to you at Wembley. The most important thing is not to get beat tonight. It can't, because it still keeps the pressure on the Italians after that great win in Georgia.
They certainly look businesslike, don't they, the Italians? Maybe that's always the case, Ray.
Well, they always do, Richard. They're a very professional outfit. But as Robbo said, like, we're doing exceptionally well as a nation at the moment. Now winning Georgia was a great one. The Italians have got to go there. It's not an easy place to win. The Italians won't even like going to Georgia. They're business, right? They're always going to be business, right? They're extremely professional. But our lads are as well. I mean, we talk about playing in front of big crowds. Our stadiums are actually chock-a-block solid now, week in, week out. And even our young men, veterans, the Nevilles, they're playing in front of 55,000 every week. So there's no reason why they can't handle this situation.
Absolutely right.
The club football as well has helped. You know, being back in Europe and that, they're experiencing these top European games now, which helps them on the international team.
Amongst the various dignitaries tonight, of course, a very familiar face there of Sir Bobby Charlton, CBE, being presented to the teams. He is our chief guest here tonight.
It's a great night for football as well, Richard. Although it's pelting down and people are saying, look at that rain coming down there. But the lads will like a greasy top, and It's a nice night for a game of football.
I think Sir Bob there will be pleased about going home with a wetsuit.
I think they should have had an umbrella up for Sir Bob.
I think they really should have done, shouldn't they?
He'll be worrying about it affecting his hairstyle.
I know his problem.
No problem though with the faces here, all familiar. We see them week in, week out in the Premiership. Bar that one, of course, Paul Ince, who plays his football in Italy these days. He's got another good reason for winning tonight. He's got to go back there.
Great night, great games to play.
Great night. Great night. The under-21s have already won by a goal to nil at Ashton Gate. We'll take that here. National anthems will be sung again live tonight. Very shortly now, Michael Ball will sing the English national anthem. First, Alessandro Bernardi will sing the Italian national anthem. Very well done, Michael Ball. How's your spine? It's not tingling now, it never will be. What a night. England against Italy, live on Sky Sports. Our match commentators, Trevor Francis and Martin Tyler.
Good evening to you all, wherever you're watching. Ben Hoddle's plans have had top secret stamped all over them, and you can understand why. 7 changes from the side which did so well in Georgia for a whole host of reasons. A tremendous responsibility on Ian Walker, a late choice in goal, and Matt Le Tissier, another surprise selection. Graham Lasso also back after a long absence. Recalls too for Gary Neville, Stuart Pearce, Steve McManaman, and of course Alan Shearer.
Well, all the personnel have changed. The shape is similar to what we've seen the previous 3 games. 3 at the back and the 2 wing-backs. We've only got the 2 in the centre of midfield. I think it's Batty who'll play the more holding role. You'll have to be aware of the forward runs of Dino Baggio, who likes to get forward into the box. Up front, Alan Shearer by himself. But behind him, 2 loose players in the Tissé and McManaman. They will get the freedom to roam wherever they see fit to go.
Of the English-based Italians, Di Matteo and Zola are in, Ravanelli's on the bench. In fact, the midfield and the striking department, the same as started Cesare Maldini's first match against Northern Ireland. He gave longest consideration to the defensive personnel, finally electing to keep in Alessandro Costacurta, who's been out of sorts, and bringing in Cannavaro, whose only previous experience in an international was as a late substitute last month against Northern Ireland.
Well, we feel the shape of the side will be similar to England, with 3 at the back, although Ferrara can play as a right back. And of course, Maldini has played many times at left back, so it can revert to a back 4. Midfield, the only difference there is they've got 3 central midfield players, Baggio, Albertini and Di Matteo. They haven't played Di Piero because they've just got Zola behind the front of Casaraghi. Of course, Del Piero is on the bench, and if necessary can come on whenever is needed. But I think it's going to be a rather cautious look from the Italians. They'll be happy with a 0-0. England must go for victory.
And in the victory plans, Matt Le Tissier. So much in the mould of Glenn Hoddle as a player, both with great gifts, both of course with their critics, but you can understand maybe the empathy between the two that has led to tonight's selection. And Ian Walker comes in for his first full game for England. He's a confident young man. He'll need to be confident. He's had a couple of tasters of it as a substitute, but nothing like this before. Shandor Poole has, of course. He refereed the World Cup final back in 1994 when Italy lost that penalty shootout to Brazil. But outside the World Cup finals themselves, this is as big as it gets. Two of the great nations in the game, and just one automatic qualification place available at the end of this programme of group games. Italy 3 times winners of the World Cup, 5 times finalists. And England defending this unbeaten World Cup record on home soil, including, of course, 1966 and all that. Shearer flicks on. Livio. Here's Ferrara. Italy, I have to say, have been less security-minded in terms of their battle plan than England. And they trained here yesterday in a formation pretty similar to the one that's being unveiled now in the real action, with Costa Curta being watched closely by Cesare Maldini yesterday and being given the go-ahead to keep his place in the side. There is the new Italian coach, but certainly not a new man on the football scene. He's 65 now, captained Italy as a player, won the European Cup on this very ground as captain of Milan in '63. And his son, of course, captaining Italy tonight.
You mentioned Costa Curta, Martin. He is going to play as a sweeper with the two markers, Ferrara and Le Tissier, and Cannavaro is looking to pick up Shearer.
There is Costa Curta, who of course was so often in tandem with Franco Baresi in past Italian sides. They're lining it up, they're defending here as McManaman looks to help to get England off to a flying start. Pitch is very wet, of course. There's been a constant rain in North London today. And both countries with this 100% record in the group, so something has to give tonight. 3 wins out of 3 for Glenn Hoddle. 2 out of 2 was not enough to keep Arrigo Sacchi in his job. But if you talk to most Italians, they feel that the old values, the right values, have been put back in place by Cesare Maldini. This is the first test of that particular philosophy of any meaning. Gary Neville cutting out. One of those left out in Georgia, but back alongside Sol Campbell and Stuart Pearce, the heart of England's defending. Ferrara. England trying to bite in with Batty, who was the man of the match, of course, in Georgia in November. Le Tissier. Both for McManaman and Le Tissier, you feel it's an opportunity not just to play from the start, but to play in preferred roles as well. The sort of freedom that they get in their club sides. Zola. Campbell is a very cool customer and will need to be tonight. Pearce, who must feel pretty much the senior citizen in the 11 finally chosen by Glenn Hoddle, had to battle with so many injury problems. Talk from Italian sources that all that was a smokescreen. Well, I think you can see from the fact that Seaman and Adams and Gascoigne are all missing tonight, nothing could be further from the truth. The physios Alan Smith and Gary Lewin have been working night and day, and we might have another job here because Neville is down. The game goes on with Le Tissier.
This this referee doesn't miss too much, Martin. I'm surprised actually he's not got his notebook out, because that was a very late challenge by Kazaragi on Neville. He did spot it, but he's done no more and had a word with him.
Neville reasonably quickly back on his feet. Campbell. Here's Pierce. Shearer furthest forward for England. Tessier almost loafing on the left-hand side, but look at that to turn away from Delivio. And Graham Lasso well forward for England. Well, England think they have a corner, but the officials think otherwise.
Well, it quite clearly was a corner. The referee wasn't sure. He looked for the assistance of a linesman.
Lovely turn from Letizia.
And a good run from Lasso in behind. There you see quite clearly, that's a corner.
Good climb by Campbell.
I think it's important on this left-hand side here that Lasso gets forward as often as possible, because he's going to confront Delivio, who's not a recognised wing-back. Plays in a midfield four for Juventus, of course. Maldini is a recognised full-back, and I think we can get some success down this side if he can attack Delivio.
Costa Curta making Ferrara just stretch to keep the ball in play. Very tight against the touchline with Delivio. And they're trying to get their challenges in. They've got Batty and Ince to offer that as a screen in front of the back three. Paul Ince was telling me before the game he's only had a couple of competitive matches since Christmas because of suspension and injury. But his very words were, well, you've got to give it a go, haven't you? And I think all England fans are glad that he's taken that attitude with other absentees tonight. Hasn't been able to train too much over the past few days. And of course, so keen to play against the Italian players that he deals with week in, week out with Inter.
Yes, I think it's important that Ince in the starting lineup, Martin, because it's a very inexperienced side. Without the likes of Adams, Seaman, Gascoigne, a lot of inexperienced players. Most experienced, of course, is Stuart Pearce.
McManaman getting between two and trying the shot after a change of pace there. A bit of strength to go with the skill, and a decent attempt at Peruzzi's goal.
Well, typical McManaman run. Gets in between two players. No power behind the shot. But with it being so greasy, I think it's important that we look for shots as often as possible outside the box.
Delivio. Now against Northern Ireland, Albertini pulled all the strings last month, and Steve McManaman, who obviously is operating well forward in England's midfield, is also seemingly got a bit of responsibility in stopping Albertini settling in to meaningful possession, and if it rolls like that he can pick it up himself and set England on their way. Letizia not frightened from that range, and Peruzzi, well, he came off his line well to assert himself. Not the tallest goalkeeper that you'll find in international football. Pushing and shoving by Kaziragi, and that's penalised.
That was good goalkeeping, because it was an excellent cross from Beckham, and it was dropping right onto the head of McManaman. Shot from Letizia, puts it in behind Maldini. Good early cross from Beckham, and there it was going straight on the head of McManaman.
Yes, there was a lot of toing and froing in the speculation that's gone on apace over the past few days about whether Les Ferdinand would keep his place, and the lack of potential height in Maldini's alternatives to deal with a player who can leap like Lesca. That may be a factor, of course, that comes in later, but at the moment England trying to force it. Dino Baggio not getting it very far forward. Batty. And Shearer was trying to force his way in front of Ferrara. The ball didn't drop that deep in the end. McManaman. And they're starting to look threatening in possession. They, of course, made an inauspicious beginning to the only other group game here at Wembley in October against Poland. They were a goal down after 6 minutes. They're not going to be a goal down in this attack because up goes the flag against Kaziragi.
Well, it must have been very tight. Good early ball that was from Zola to Kaziragi. And that's the only fear, Martin, isn't it? That when we do lose possession, we're very, very concentrated at the back, because they can spring so early from a defensive position into attacking one, as we saw there.
Well, you think of Italians as volatile, and there's a bit of reaction there from Ferrara, but as footballers, they're very patient and professional. And they ration their attacking ideas. They'll sense the right moment, but they won't overcommit in trying to just face up to England and beat them without thinking of that deep-lying strategy. But they've got to worry about Pearce's free kick here. Shearer doing a bit of backing in. Well, you can apply so many statistics to Alan Shearer that Glenn Hoddle would appreciate, but 8 goals in his last 7 internationals is a pretty relevant one tonight.
Yes, when we took that free kick there, Martin, there were only 3 English players in the opposing penalty box. Shearer, Letitia and Campbell, who came forward from the back. And that was against 6 Italian defenders. Of course, without the double spearhead of Ferdinand and Shearer, it's vitally important that we do get players in that box to support Alan Shearer. There's no point in crossing balls if you've only got Shearer in the box.
So thrilled to have regained his fitness in his career, let alone playing for his country again. It's been a great comeback, and he's had a lot of help, in particular from Alan Smith, on a one-to-one basis, one of the 2 England physios. He was injured shortly after playing here against Portugal in December '95, of course, about Euro '96. He's back to work the left-hand side for England tonight. Dino Baggio. Here's Bolivia. Very adjacent to Lasso. Zola, after it was left cleverly by Kaziragi. And whereas England didn't get the earlier deflection spotted, this one has been, and it is a corner to Italy.
Well, that was clever play, wasn't it, from the front 2, Kaziragi and Zola. Kaziragi must have had a late shout from Zola. There you see it quite clearly deflected for a corner.
Zola is a master at the set pieces. Maldini trying to get free in the centre. It's hung up for Dino Baggio, and it's going to be a free kick to England, not a corner for Italy. There's some pushing spotted by Shandil Pool.
Yes, I would think in those set-piece situations, the biggest danger is Maldini. And it was noticeable that the England captain, Alan Shearer, has been detailed to watch him very, very closely.
Don't read too much into Euro '96 as far as Italy are concerned. You can easily argue that but for a foolish tackle that led to a sending off and a missed penalty by Zola, they could have been here playing at Wembley in June instead of going home early. Albertini just trying to slide it down the channel towards Di Matteo, but he's thrown off by Campbell. Those 2 were playing against each other very recently as Spurs took on Chelsea, and Di Matteo, if memory serves me right, put a shot past Ian Walker for one of the Chelsea goals. Touch on from Letitia was artfully done. Of course, Shearer and Letitia were together at the outset of their careers at Southampton. Never. England will come two options in midfield here. McManaman. So waiting on the left, McManaman rather going into the congestion. Picked up by Batty. Neville. Here's Paul Ince. Crossing towards Letizia, who was having to shove to try and get a jump. He was complaining his shirt was being held in the first place. Peruzzi came and made light of the catch.
Well, that's a common feature of Italian play. Close contact, little tug of the shirt. This time it's Ferrara on Letizia, but once again, very safe handling from the Juventus keeper Peruzzi.
Costa Curta. England very concerned about not letting the ball get to Zola. A lot of speculation about whether there might be some man-marking assignment, but it's not natural to English players. And of course Zola has come from a league Serie A where he's had to deal with that all the time. Looks as though the nearest player is going to try and get to him and make sure that Zola doesn't make a real contribution for Italy here tonight. He really is in peak form. He's been averaging a goal every other game for Chelsea, as well as creating so much as well. So, the eager McManaman. Batty again. Campbell with plenty ahead of him. Batty coming to demand the ball. Ince likewise. Italy shaping up. And Hoddle actually described this as possibly a game of one chance.
The three central midfield players for Italy are pressing the ball really well, Martin. Albertini, Di Matteo and Baggio making it very, very difficult for England, but England got to be patient and wait for their opening as they're doing now.
And Piers gets in across. Well, it came quickly for Letizia, who took the pace off it excellently, but just couldn't get the shot away quickly enough. And there's a breakaway now for Casiraghi. And chances at either end within a matter of seconds. Zola uncharacteristically not making good contact. Letizia did, but the shot was blocked.
It's a great run this from Casiraghi. Peels off the back of Campbell, puts an early ball in. Zola's onto it. Well, that's a lucky break for England. And just 30 seconds prior to that, the best chance of the game so far. You want it to fall to Letizia, but an excellent block from Ferrara.
Italy keeping the ball and getting the advantage played by the referee. Albertini. Well, it was a bit of a simplification from the England head coach, Trevor. A game of one chance. We've had one chance each in a matter of moments. And it is that slippy, slidey sort of night where it's not going to be easy to defend. England having more of the ball. That doesn't mean too much against top-quality Italians.
One of the best volleyers, Martin, in the Premiership undoubtedly is Letizia. And he'll put that down as a rather easy chance for him. I know he was closed down quite well from Ferrara, but it was a good chance. He just felt he wanted perhaps one too many touches on the ball.
This is Shearer. Navarro elevated, perhaps surprisingly, by Cesare Maldini, but the two work together in the Italy under-21 setup, where Maldini Senior has had a fantastic record, winning the last, or coaching the last three tournaments of the European under-21 groups to the actual trophy. Here's Cannavaro again. Senior man with him is Costa Curta. And this is the sort of area that Albertini likes to get on the ball. He hasn't seen a pass to play it quickly as he would want to do. And menacingly into deep England territory. Ferrara. England's turn to trade space. Costa Curta, it's a terrific ball, controlled by Zola! A magnificent goal for Italy. Zola got free, pulled the ball down with real aplomb and thrashed it past Walker with 19 minutes gone.
Well, that's poor defending from England. That ball's travelled some 40, 50 yards. Pearce hasn't spotted the run of Zola, he's got in behind him. And when he does get in behind, it's a great first touch and an even better second touch. Walker being at the near post, he won't be particularly happy about that.
Well, England are behind. And Gianfranco Zola, who has learned so much so quickly about the English game from his time with Chelsea, has put that to Italy's good here. And Glenn Hoddle's much-changed team have some troubles. Batty. Now Pearce. Well, if there was some comfort there, that wasn't particularly good defending by Italy. McManaman got his head to the ball.
Well, it was made to... Oh, just as we look at this ball in from Pearce. McManaman does well here. He gets it in the back post. A little bit of shot put in the game, gets his header in. Doesn't trouble Peruzzi. This is the goal. Zola gets in behind Pearce. Was that deflected?
Well, Ian Walker had the best view of it, and he could do nothing about it. But Zola, who, if you noted the angle that he scored from against Northern Ireland, very, very similar, and he made the ultimate use of the opportunity. It's all about the result tonight, remember. Although a win will not guarantee qualification, it is a big step for the winners towards it. Especially, you would feel, for Italy, with the return in Rome to come.
Yeah, I'm not so sure this ball actually changes course. As Zola strikes it, Campbell comes over.
Yes.
That is deflected. I think Walker possibly had that covered, and that's deflected into the near post. So I did Walker a disservice. I complained because he was being at the near post, but I think it was definitely deflected off the leg of Sol Campbell.
Well, here is Pearce on the ball for England. Neville. So Shearer pulled England back into it against Poland after the first goal had gone into England's net that night. McManaman. But England have got to be careful making a controlled reaction to going from behind, not to overcommit. That would suit Italy's counter-attacking style. Shearer's header. McManaman almost there.
I think it was a foul though, Shearer on Maldini. Just using his hands to try and get above Maldini.
The official on the far side did flag in tandem with the referee's whistle.
Well, I'm sure Italy will look at it and say it was an excellent goal, because it looks a terrific pass from Costa Curta, but it should have been dealt with quite comfortably by the England defence. You can't allow Zola to get in that easily behind you.
Well, the defence lacking Tony Adams. Gareth Southgate demoted to one of the substitutes. Gary Pallister not in the squad, of course. He's had injury problems recently. Hasn't played really enough games to warrant selection. Letizia. Still plenty of time for England to hit back. Glenn Hoddle has got so much right so far in the 3 previous games. He's furiously scribbling there. Glenn Roeder, who's been assisting, the England training alongside Van Hoddle up in the stand. Shearer. Zola, who is a wonderful combination of a player who you can give the ball to his feet in a deeper position and he can hurt you with a pass, but he's got a goal-getter's instinct as well. And he showed for the long pass and the control, even allowing for the touch on the shot. It was of the highest order. And then they've got to some repair job now. Albertini, cut out by Campbell. Shearer trying to glance it off into the run of McManaman, just showed too much of it to Maldini. Cannavaro got a foot in, and Albertini as well. And Italy get the free kick. And Shearer pointing, saying that he got a piece of the ball.
Yes, it's important now that England settle down, make sure they don't concede a second. They've got to regroup.
Climbing for this one, looking for the run of Maldini and to some extent finding it, although it dropped behind the captain. Albertini, Di Livio coming in from the right, defended by Lasseau. Zola shot! And Walker with a greasy ball, a swerving ball to contend with, just poured it away and it's gone behind for the corner.
Once again, wonderful skill from Zola, flicks it up on the volley, really tests Walker. Great bit of technique from the little man.
Well, Shandor Poole very hot on spotting some pushing here from attackers from the corner. A corner that came courtesy of Walker's save from another impromptu piece of inspiration from Zola.
I'm very impressed with the front two for Italy, especially Casaraghi at the moment with his running. Obviously Zola's taken the eye with his ability on the ball, but every time Italy get it in the deep area, Casaraghi is spinning off to England's right-hand side, trying to get in behind Beckham and Neville, trying to pull Neville into a wide position.
Di Matteo working up with Zola. Chelsea connection. It's another free kick to Italy. England finding it hard to stem the tide in that part of the pitch at the moment. Casaraghi watching the play build up on the other side of the pitch with Di Livio. Now they put it in towards Casaraghi, but not anywhere near him in the end.
But that's the area that he's taken up nearly all the time, Martin, just in between Beckham and Neville. And he is useful in the air. I would say he's a typical English centre-forward, actually. Very physical, excellent running, doesn't score the amount of goals that he should do for a centre-forward, but a tremendous foil for Zola.
Maybe because they don't put the ball in Serie A to him in the air as much as he would perhaps get if he came to the Premiership. He's been trying to almost sell himself to the English market with a few pre-international comments. Gigi Casiraghi. He's a real honest battler, and others around him with the finesse, as we've seen, to England's cost already.
Yeah, he's actually playing the same sort of role that Shearer's doing for England. But the difference is that Casiraghi's very, very familiar with this role, whereas Shearer seldom plays it. And I think that's the difference.
That's what we've actually got, Trevor, is Italy reverting to a style of play that is very much deep-rooted in the Italian game, although one or two of the leading clubs have had success with a more zonal system, if you like, four at the back. Cesare Maldini, steeped in Catenaccio. Whereas England, even after Euro 96, still on a learning curve as changing from basic English tactics.
Yeah, so just returning to Shearer, if you remember in the early days with Terry Venables, he was isolated from many, many games up front, and he had that barren spell when he couldn't score to save his life, and then we got Sheringham just playing in behind him, and he couldn't stop scoring. I feel he does need closer support.
Casiraghi getting support here from Di Livio. Zola. Oh, it's another teasing ball in behind Campbell. It gathered pace off the pitch and defeated Kaziragi's attempts to locate it.
Yeah, he just went slightly early, Kaziragi. The linesman in front of us just flagged for offside.
Cleared by Campbell. Maldini. Beckham just looking it back. Yes. Needing a bit of help, needing someone to show for him. Shearer was trying to be an available player, and he did it to, he thought, his benefit. A free kick. He was moving up the forward station. This very experienced Hungarian official, who actually took charge of the England-Germany Euro '96 semi-final here, gave the free kick to the Italians. And it's level for the 10th second goal. Oh, and it's a short from Batty, taken up by Maldini. Nice block from Ince. Maldini again. And if he could have just rolled that back, there was a real chance there for Kaziragi, who stood there almost praying that the opportunity was going to come. England were very grateful that it didn't. There's a very uneasy look about the home team at the moment, with half an hour gone, goal down. Pearce. Batty, crowd trying to play a part in that urge England forward. And blocking there unfairly by Di on Graham Rousseau. England have a free kick. And it's not the tallest England side you've ever seen.
No, it's not. Without the likes of Pallister and Adams, we don't have that threat that we normally do from set pieces, although Campbell's gone forward and also Pearce is in there.
Takes it. There's always, of course, a chance of Pearce getting a knockdown like that. Maldini at the other end of the pitch, though, after David Batty's mistake. And the son this time with another chance here to get the ball back for Kaziragi. The son not pleasing the father. Sorry, Dad. He thought there was another goal for the taking then. Here's Ferrara. Now Albertini. Ferrara is an experience. I was going to say hasn't been exploited by England, but he made a mistake there. And got away with it. Costa Curta with another ball from deep. At the moment, going Italy's way. Not just with the goal, but with the confidence that has brought. Batty, this is better from England. Until it came to a shot from Beckham, but that was touched as well. And an Italian foot diverting it for a corner.
Well, it's the first time that Beckham has got away from Maldini, comes into a more central position where he prefers. That quite clearly is deflected.
England's first corner to be taken by Matt Letizia. Parisi opts to power it away with both fists, quickly reclaimed by Rousseau. He's long-footed Letizia. The Jersey-Guernsey connection there. And the referee just running across to make sure nothing was going to develop between that little tussle. Letizier and Di Livio. Just over 10 minutes to go to half-time. And do we already, Trevor, start second-guessing Glenn Hoddle about changes?
Well, it's not gone as he expected. The last thing he wanted was for Italy to take the lead. We all know how good the Italians are at defending. I said before the game that they come with a rather cautious look. I think it's built around the back three, and also the midfield three are doing a tremendous job in the way they're pressing the ball. England find it very, very difficult to create any sort of worthwhile chances. The only one they really had, which fell to Letizier, was from a poor cross actually from Pierce. That was deflected to Letizier.
Referee taking exception to the tackle by Campbell. Coming through the back. Ferrara. Matteo trying to get forward, cut off by Pierce. Stuart Pierce free for the moment from the cares of running Nottingham Forest. Plenty else to worry about here. Albertini, stuck out of foot, dropped for Letizier. That was easy on the eye, but not easy on Lasso. He ended up with a 50-50 ball to go for. Di Livio. Albertini. No one stopping the pass from him that time from England, but it wasn't a good pass. And steered back by the chest of Beckham. Batty.
Well, we don't want Beckham to be playing in those areas, do we, all night? So effective this season, the more central areas of Manchester United. Maldini is pushing him further and further back. He's actually playing as a right back at the moment.
Yes, and you can't help thinking that was planned by Cesare Maldini, because Paolo Maldini played in the central defensive three against Northern Ireland. But has been put into an area where he's a very expressive man. He was very calm in the training yesterday, Cesare Maldini. But now, as battle has been joined, he's the most animated man on the ground at the moment. Coming up for you on Sky Sports. Next weekend, Sky Sports 1 from the FA Cup fifth round, Bradford City against Sheffield Wednesday. It starts at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Batty. And again, time to turn. Ince, but Ferrara there first, ahead of Shearer. Well read by Gary Neville. He was able to take it on with the type of enterprise that England need, but not the end product that England will be craving for in this situation. Remember, only the winning team of this group has an automatic right to go to France, but there is, for the runners-up, a playoff situation. But there's still a lot of this game, let alone the rest of the fixtures, to take into account before we start writing off England's chances of getting the automatic slot. Difficult games of both these nations away in Poland to come. There will be some changing around. When the two countries were in the same qualifying group 20 years ago, it was 2-0 to Italy in Rome, 2-0 to England here. Italy went through on goal difference, the result of better results in the other matches, so we should give those other games proper priority. All the English eggs aren't in this particular basket. Costa Curta have been relatively comfortable at the back, Italy.
Yes, too comfortable, aren't they? I would think that Glenn is seriously considering making a change in half-time. You've got to put them under more pressure than what they have done in this first half.
Di Matteo. For the derision of the crowd, he'll probably put that down to the conditions.
Once again, another good ball in behind. This time Lasso. Di Matteo gets in there.
And Wembley too wet for him on that part of the pitch.
too wet or lost the balance. I'm not sure what it was.
Beckham calling for that. Needs just to drop off him and be available to play that sort of pass to McManaman. Beckham again, free in the middle for England. Le Tissier! Just spun away from him, straight away by Ferrara. McManaman. Ince going in, full commitment, fouled, free kick.
That's what we've got to do more often, Martin. Get balls into the penalty box. They looked uncomfortable then. The ball almost fell loose from Le Tissier. We haven't put enough balls into their box.
Well, England have got plenty of alternatives when it comes to the set plays. Beckham, of course, Le Tissier. And surprisingly, in this situation, backside of the penalty area, not Stuart Pearce. Well, Le Tissier's moved away. And David Beckham in front of the great Bobby Charlton, to whom he's been likened already. He scored so many great goals for England on this ground. Like all English fans hoping maybe that there's something beckoning for Beckham. Beckham goes for goal, and it was a pretty good try. Peruzzi couldn't be sure it wasn't bending inside the post. He had to dive across and make the save. He handled the ball well.
Well, the accuracy was there, just needed a little bit more power, didn't it?
Ferrara. It was a very good try from Beckham. Pearce. What a tonic an equaliser would be before half-time for England! Oh, from the moment it came off Le Tissier's head, you thought it might be there because Peruzzi had misjudged it. He didn't get to it. Le Tissier did, but it was wide of the mark.
Once again, Italy in trouble from the cross. Peruzzi comes, gets nowhere near it. That's another great chance fallen to Le Tissier. Good ball in from Batty. Just needed to be on target if we would have been on level terms.
But it's kept up the support and maybe the England effort out on the pitch. Ince, who really started it by earning that free kick with a typical Cavalier burst through the ball at an awkward height. Italy have been backpedaling since then. Batty. Ince again. Oh, certainly fouled from behind by Di Matteo. Ince didn't like it. And then controls himself a friendly wink for the player who'd fouled him. And looking to come up with a less than friendly free kick. Pearce. Italy pushing out now, holding a line. Costa Curta dropping back into the edge of the area. Ince couldn't control. Kazuragi.
Ince actually made the wrong decision, didn't he? Should have just helped it on into the box. He tried to bring it down on his chest, and that was the signal for the Italians to immediately press him. England could have been in trouble on the counter-attack from Italy.
Yes, having to play safe. Shearer to win it. He can and guided on. Le Tissier was expecting that. Didn't quite fall fluently for England then. Bolivia. Matteo. Off his opposite number, David Batty. Neville. A real test of England's self-belief here. It's much respected opposition, but not invincible opposition. Pearce. And signs from the good crosses, but England could find a way back into it, and Peruzzi opting to punch again. Pearce. Rousseau. Batty. Paul took his time before deciding what to give in that incident. Graham Rousseau was actually played the ball on the short side. Ferrara is the player picking himself up. And it is a throw to Italy. Just by Pierce. Have you seen enough, Trevor, to say your message is get Les Ferdinand off?
Well, I'm convinced that if we adopted the old English approach, getting in wide areas, getting the ball into the box, putting the Italian defenders under pressure, we would certainly get more success. I think at the moment we're trying to probe in midfield, trying to outpass them, and that is very, very difficult against a side who are pressing extremely well.
Yes, the counter-argument, I suppose, is that two up front just falls into a natural system of marking for the Italians. Two with the one covering. But these two, Ferrara and Cannavaro, aren't very big. Nor is Costacurta known as a player who's authoritative in the air. But he's showing plenty of authority on the ground.
Martin, we've seen on many occasions when that ball is played in the air and Ferdinand's coming on a run, you can't mark that.
Well, we're close to half-time, and the chances for both coaches to evaluate what we've witnessed. And there is the half-time whistle. And Italy have the plaudits from the first 45 minutes and a goal from Gianfranco Zola of Chelsea. After 19 minutes, the long ball from Costacurta, and Zola, with the help of a touch off Sol Campbell, beating Ian Walker, who was called in late on for the injured David Seaman. Glenn Hoddle scratching his head, and no wonder at half-time at Wembley in this vital World Cup qualifier. It's England 0, Italy 1.
Part of a terrific lineup of games coming up on Sky Sports, with the Coca-Cola Cup final on April the 6th. That's live. So too is the second half here. England with a big job to do now. They trail by a 0-0. And there's anxiety now, as well as a lot of paint all over their faces. It was different 45 minutes ago when England started this game, but Zola's goal is the one that separates them right now. An absolute shocker from England's point of view. The touch there off Sol Campbell's boot, maybe that took it past Ian Walker. Whatever happened, we know that England trail by a 0-0 as we rejoin Trevor Francis and Martin Tyler.
Italy have won at Wembley before, but that was a friendly back in '73. It was Bobby Moore's last cap, and the only goal was scored by Fabio Capello, now better known as the coach of Real Madrid. No changes at half-time for either coach here. Italy with a 1-0 lead to defend. No wonder Zola's smiling as we wait for Shandor Poole to get the second half underway. Elaborate checks from the referee. England champing at the bit, we can be assured of that. With 45 minutes to turn this round. Di Matteo. I have to say, from what we've seen so far, Italy more comfortable with their strategy than England have been.
Once again, a similar run.
Asked them to do.
Sorry, Martin. Once again, there we saw a similar run from Zola, which got the first goal. Just spinning in behind Pierce.
Good climb on Shearer, who's seen very little of the ball, but Ferrara's actually damaged himself perhaps as he fell. Game goes on, and the referee must be tempted to call a halt. He'll be glad to have the opportunity to do so, which he has done now. Probably going to be a free kick to England, but it'll be some attention here for Ciro Ferrara. He went up with Shearer.
Yes, I think it was Shearer's head that caught Ferrara in the eye. Unintentional. But it certainly gives England the opportunity now, after that foul from Di Matteo on Batty, the chance to put Italy under immediate pressure in the second half. They sent one or two big lads forward. They certainly need to get a goal pretty soon, Martin, to lift the crowd, because they were very optimistic at the start. They've gone a bit flat. We all need a lift.
Well, Ferrara having his lift to the touchline, and he's not there to keep an eye on Shearer, who's trying to get in. And Italy having to just improvise a little bit in their defensive marking. Now the weapon here could be the long throw from Gary Neville. As long as it might have been, it's a deeper cross though. Letizia to get it down, Shearer. Others arriving like Beckham and Campbell. It's just almost a case of Shearer and Letizia getting in each other's way. But it is the authentic longer throw from Neville this time. Italy only get it away partly, put back in by Ince, then Albertini wraps his right foot around it and manages to clear Italy's lines. Meanwhile, Ciro Ferrara is back off.
And once again, the ball falls to Letizia initially, tries to get on his chest, then Shearer tries to get the shot in.
Finding Kaziragi making up the ground quickly. He took a big touch to his left-hand side, try and make time and space for the clearance. Kaziragi reckoned there was something on for him then.
But that's typical of the pressing we've seen all evening from the Italians.
Cannavaro, remember it's his first full game and he's fitted in snugly enough. Maldini playing for Italy for the 76th time, one of their all-time greats. Costa Curta. Livio, Albertini, Kaziragi, good play, and there's a runner from midfield, and it's Dino Baggio, and there were problems again for England with the sheer coordination and movement of the Italians.
Well, it all ended with a great run from Baggio. Goes free, tries to lift it over Walker, puts too much on it, but a delightful ball there from Albertini, gets in behind the England defence.
Well, Dino Baggio had a great World Cup in '94 in the USA, got a couple of really vital goals and they path to the final, and he was in England's goal then, and Stuart Pearce maybe kicking his boot onto the ball and forcing the inaccuracy with the shot. Albertini's pass was threatening. Here's the playmaker. Here's McMahon. Now the shot. Seeing some space and really accelerating into it. A tenacious run. A reminder of what he contributed in those early internationals under Terry Venables, who gave him his chance at this level.
Good determined run this from Lasso. He's under pressure to get the ball in the box. Nobody makes a run to the near post.
Pearce. Peruzzi again parted away, Ince trying to knock it back, and he knocked it back very well, but Shearer, if he'd walked away from it, he would have probably been adjudged onside, but and Peruzzi would still have had to make some sort of save, but once he was attracted to the ball, the flag was going to go up.
Yeah, Shearer couldn't avoid that, could he? He'd gone in on the first ball, Ince headed it back. But once again, Peruzzi elects to punch it. Started off the game handling really well. Just of late though, every time the ball has come in, he's looked a little bit vulnerable.
I just wonder what would Peruzzi have done. He probably would have conceded the corner if Shearer had got out of the way, but those instincts have served England so well in the past, you can hardly blame them for servicing them. Italy diffusing the danger. Beautiful from Zola. This is Maldini. Over Kaziragi, and Di Livio was beyond him, the number 7. defence and some tumbling. It's not been the sheer war of attrition that many predicted. It's been more open than that. And open enough for England to terrorise Italy at the back. Beckham. I do feel that the Italians believe if they keep on playing this way that they're capable of scoring again. His kick went to Batty. Remember, against Poland, England recovered from that early goal very quickly. Shearer struck twice before half-time for Glenn Hoddle. No one has struck for him tonight. Harry Lewin biting the fingernails there. Summing up the feelings of many an Englishman at the moment. Out from Costa Curta, Peruzzi might have a problem here. And, well, that's pretty much out of harm's way. Goalkeeper who played such a big part in Juventus becoming winners of the European Champions League last season. Penalty shootout in the final. Nudging it forward to the willing Kaziragi, but he turned back into trouble. Play on, says the referee, and England were happy to do that with Beckham. And it's produced a corner. Costa Curta having to stretch and strain to intervene. Up comes Campbell, up comes Pearce. With the corner. That's Lasso, who got a great goal here, of course, against Brazil a couple of years ago from a pretty similar position.
Well, the crowd below us, Martin, slightly unhappy with that. Felt that Tissier just jumped over that ball there, should have gone in, made contact with Di Matteo.
A corner just before that Les Ferdinand might have fancied attacking.
Yes, it was actually their smallest defender. Cannavaro got the header clear, totally unopposed.
Di Matteo, Kaziragi, Ferrara. It's one of the poorer balls forward played by Italy, and Batty. And Beckham trying to come up with some perceptive play for England here. Letizia to take on Cannavaro, but not get past him. Beckham, Shearer calling for it deep. Spotted by Beckham, Shearer up well behind the three, gone into the middle. Ince was coming on the scene at great pace. England have lifted the tempo of their play. They've still got to do it in a pretty controlled fashion. Otherwise they will be vulnerable to the counter-attack. Pearce. Very little shove by Dino Baggio on McManaman. Are we clutching at straws there? Nothing given. Free kick now against Ince. Well, he should know. He plays with them every week.
Well, that's how to win a free kick when you're under pressure. Certainly relieves the pressure, wins his team a free kick, calms everything down.
You learned that when you were playing in Italy.
I learned it before I went to Italy.
10 minutes into the second half, but not much to laugh about for England as Peruzzi takes the free kick, astutely earned by Albertini. Pearce. Given Italy's way. Di Matteo. Pearce using the left when many would have swung the right. Cannavaro. It's a technique of many strikers to try and get up the ground a bit early. Win a free kick, but Kaziragi didn't get that time. Letizia. The Italians snapping in midfield. And they can't get a controlled pattern of play going from that part of the pitch. And under Gascoigne, the The judge not to be fully fit, not involved tonight, not even on the bench. Beckham, perhaps we'll see more of him in the centre as the game goes on. Batty. Now Lasso. Beckham still holding a central position. Pearce on the ball. It's a clever play from Graham Lasso. Letitia and Shearer in the centre. It was really fired across by Pearce. It wasn't the worst ball we've seen from England.
It wasn't. It was an excellent ball, in fact. Plenty of pace. Not an easy ball to defend. Just eluded the 3 England players.
It's forward by Beckham and it's picked out. Shearer. Albertini having to deal with an awkward bounce and the presence of Batty. Room for Zola. That could spell trouble for England. Batty got back to make a challenge in, but only deflected the ball forward to Di Matteo, and Zola takes it up and worries England again. Kaziragi just trying to work the ball to his right to make half a yard for a shot. Didn't come off for him. Signs of Les Ferdinand increasing the output in terms of the tracksuits coming off. Shearer. England need the captain. But he's looking for others to his left. Albertini. Di Livio and back to Costa Curta. Albertini. Kaziragi booming it beyond Pearce, but way beyond Zola's chances of getting it. Well, it's almost as if Glenn Hoddle said, well, we'll give it 15 minutes at the start of the second half and see what happens. And that 15 minutes is almost up.
Well, he's obviously given the team selection careful deliberation, Martin. And when you've selected that side, you know, he's probably thinking, well, that's my best side, why change it at half-time?
It's a lovely ball from Letitia, maybe about to be replaced out to Lasso. Led to the cross. Now it's Shearer. Matt Letitia. Time might be running out for him in this game. Pearce, bit of pressure from England though. Pearce trying to emphasise it, but he pushed it too far ahead. Albertini calming things down for Italy. Ferrara though in a bit of a panic-stricken mode then, but he's got it forward well, and Italy have kept the attack going. With Roberto Di Matteo, one Chelsea player has already scored. Beckham, Letitia to the left, Shearer through the centre. Italy funnel back, Letitia crosses, only Shearer to aim for. Couldn't find him. Ferdinand waiting. Is this the moment? The ball's out of play. Trying to attract the attention of the referee, who hasn't seen it. It's Ince. It bounces through pretty comfortably for Peruzzi. Ferdinand, who of course scored in Georgia when Shearer was absent with that hernia operation. Well, the decision to play Matt Letitia hasn't come off for Glenn Hoddle. In truth, Letitia hasn't been in his vintage form for Southampton recently. Not one of his purple patches, but Glenn Hoddle wanted to give him the chance. He's had an hour, England are behind, Ferdinand is on, and that will give a more physical sense of support for Alan Shearer. The Newcastle club colleagues, 40 goals between them at club level this season. Can harness again in the international scene. Can that turn things around?
It may also help to get Alan Shearer 1 or 2 chances of his own, because I don't think he's had a attempt at goal, has he, in the first hour?
Ince. Ferdinand has gone roaring into the middle. Cannavaro hasn't tracked him. Sent across now. just a matter of getting the right sort of supply. The two up top. Pierce wanted to just hurl it in, trying to deliver it deliberately to Shearer. He's flicked it well to Ferdinand. He was trying to tee up McManaman. Matthew on the scene, but there'd been a foul before that. Zola. His goal after 19 minutes. Putting England in this sticky situation. Batty. Well, the thing about that, Peruzzi was a long way off his line, carrying the angles and all that, good thing to do, but if there'd been a little bit of dip on it, which there was on the shot in the end, it rather died away. Had it been on target, he would have caught the goalkeeper out. Nobody comes to close down Batty, so he decides to have a shot. But as you can see there, I think Peruzzi realises that it's going wide, doesn't make too much of an attempt. Maldini on the move. Zola and Casiraghi spotting their positions in the centre. Needs some covering there from Campbell, and England got it. Di Matteo. Casiraghi's hold-up play was very good. McManaman hasn't really had the chance to make the sort of runs that have become his trademark at Liverpool level. Well, he picked the wrong fellow there to try and outrun. Dino Baggio is very, very quick. Dino Baggio hasn't had the best of times since the World Cup finals in '94, but he's got a chance to be a Cesare Maldini man. Lasso. And there's the footsteps of Shearer being dogged again by Ferrara. He comes from that mould of Italian defenders, the Gentili types, who are pretty impassive and very, very hard to pass. But England have a free kick. The vast majority in a crowd of 75,000, hoping for something here akin to the summer nights in Euro '96 on this Ash Wednesday in February. England hoping their World Cup hopes of going on automatically aren't in ashes. Once again, another free header for Italian player. I was going to say defender, but it was Casiraghi there who was back defending for his team. Completely unchallenged and heard the ball clear. Might drop for Shearer. He's scrapping for it, so is Ince. That's Graham Lasso. Well, you can see the urgency. England expending the energy. Yes, I think once again you'll find that Peruzzi has it covered. Shot comes in from Lasso, hits the side netting. And 1 or 2 on the opposite side of the ground, thought it was in the back of the net. But Peruzzi, the man who counts, he had it well covered. Well, England forcing the play. Circumstances dictate that. It hasn't been done with controlled, cohesive play too often. But it's done with plenty of spirit. Bottom line is that Italy still lead. Every free kick, they'll take a little bit of extra time over. This is given against it. In 1996, the football mood in the two countries pretty different. England buoyant, the Italians disillusioned with Arrigo Sacchi. A new year, a new coach for them. And looking for some of the substance of what happened here last summer. Here's Gary Neville, who just got onto it with a hand.
Well, that's really a harsh decision, that. He's gone in for the 50-50 challenge with Maldini. The ball's come off, it is his hand. I can't believe the linesman's given a handball there. There you see a fair challenge. Don't tell me that's intentional.
That's what he gave it for. But there's nothing Gary Neville could have done to have avoided that. The serve. McManaman. Free kick. Another chance to work the ball into a crossing position. He would have played it short. McManaman. Short and Ferdinand both in there. Good header by Costa Curta. Ince. His cross. Ferdinand, oh, he's trying too hard. And a little bit more relaxation on it. And that's the sort of supply that England will be looking to give the substitute.
Yes, I'm sure Les will appreciate that good early ball in from Ince. Gets it onto his right foot, fires it in. Ferdinand gets in between Maldini and Cannavaro. But unfortunately, it's not a particularly good header.
Well, there's just under a quarter of the game to go. And England are feeling the threat of Gianfranco Zola once more. Pearce, and he's annoyed with those around him. He was the last outfield player. He needed to make it his, and he did.
Well, once again, we see the pace of the Italians. It's been a feature of this play. Every play over the first 10-15 yards is so quick.
Oh, Dino Baggio heading it back, and one thought when he made contact he might be heading it in. England were managing to get bodies around and deal with the extreme danger here.
Well, Ian Walker completely misses the flight of this ball. Well, what a let-off that is for England. I thought Dino Baggio was going to head it direct for goal. He's elected to head it back across goal.
And Ferdinand is adjudged to have fouled then. Almost 70 minutes gone. England not enjoying the vintage night. A little complaining here about the decision, but that's not a major reason that the Italians are shading things here. They continue to look for a more unified team. Some of that obviously down to their own strength and skills. Some of it, we must say, it's down to England having to make changes beyond those envisaged by Glenn Hoddle. I think, of course, of players like Andy Hinchliffe have been in the team, long-term injury, and Teddy Sheringham, who's hardly been mentioned, but he's been not in the squad, and often a very effective support for Alan Shearer. And, of course, the goal scorer at this level of full quality himself.
I think it's also fair to say, Martin, in the centre of the midfield, we've missed that little bit of inventiveness that Paul Gascoigne provides.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because there's still, I think, a split vote about whether Gascoigne should be involved or not. Maybe by not playing, he's actually enhanced his claims today. There will be votes required from British viewers for man of the match. 0891111101. Please give us your opinion as soon as you feel that you've made up your mind.
I think against defenders as good as the Italians are, not particularly in the air, I don't think they're good, but certainly on the floor, they're very, very alert, very, very focused. You need something like Gascoigne to provide that killer pass that can upset the back three. We certainly don't have it at the moment.
Steve McManaman's instincts to use the ball and run at defenders with it at his feet rather than necessarily looking for the first and earlier pass. So asked to challenge for that with Delivio. Still time for England to turn the night of despair at the moment to something of a far happier nature.
Well, that's a bonus, the free kick. I couldn't quite see what that was for. It looked a fair challenge from Delivio. Did we accept it?
It wasn't the greatest ball to Graham Lasso, but his jump for it at least was willing enough, and a free kick has ensued, which Lasso takes himself. And what made Peruzzi reach up and turn it aside, probably in Lasso's mind, was looking for Ferdinand, who was coming in from beyond this near post as we look, the far post from Lasso's position.
Yes, it wasn't the best of free kicks, and I think we can be thankful that we got a corner from it.
Beckham's corner. This is Pierce! Beaten away by Peruzzi. It was a good try from a tight angle. Really drilled goalwards. England's throw. The search for the equaliser intensifies. Pierce heads it back in. Campbell going for it. Ferrara jumping well. Ince with a flick. Shearer with a spin. And Cannavaro mobile enough to get to it. And a bit of useful help there from Delivio, whose first touch was excellent in the circumstances.
And that could have been Alan Shearer's first chance of the game. The ball brought nicely from after a flick from Ince.
McManaman's in behind Dino Baggio. The early cross was well thought out, well cut out by Cannavaro. McManaman again. Now Beckham, tossed forward by Batty. And Albertini's been a bit slovenly there for Italy, unlike him. McManaman did well to keep it in. Might have been handballed by Beckham. That's given, and England still have it with McManaman and Batty. Ince. And they needed the insurance of Costa Corta, then did Italy. Oh, not too many England chances from free play. Can they come up with something here? From a rehearsed routine, from a huge throw from Gary Neville, and the challenge there from Shearer that certainly unsettled Peruzzi, but in the mind of the referee, fouled it. Well, more work for Peruzzi, quickly following the save here from Stuart Pearce. We get a great idea of the angle this time. Ten Hoddle considering other attacking options. He's got Ian Wright on the bench and Paul Merson, of course. The options for coaches, you can use 3 substitutes from 7 players named. And we've used one, Les Ferdinand, for Matt Letizia. Here is Ferdinand. McManaman. Beckham is there. Ferdinand and Shearer. It's still with England and McManaman, but the flag is up. And it ends disappointingly. And more vital moments pass. And Cesare Maldini is going to make a substitution.
Well, as the ball comes in there, Les once again gets his head to it, directs it straight to McManaman. Unfortunately, he's offside.
Well, Casiraghi, who's run so unselfishly at the sharp end for Italy, goes off to be replaced by Fabrizio Ravanelli of Middlesbrough, of course, who scored 3 goals already in Italy's World Cup campaign. 2 in Moldova, the winner at home to Georgia. And England remove Steve McManaman and bring back from the international wilderness Paul Merson, who's been sorting himself out in a way that I don't have to document again for you, but it's been a great credit to himself, and he's had 2 full years in the firing line for Arsenal, but now gets his first cap since he played against Greece in May '94. He's in great form. And Ravanelli, Ince exchanging views. Pierce. Feel that they're at the wrong end of the decision. They were all massing towards the centre for a corner that's not going to come.
Well, I can't believe the referee didn't see that it was deflected, otherwise I'm sure it had to have given a corner, but I think we'll see here the ball. Well, it doesn't come off Les Fernand.
That's a definite corner. Fortunate character there was Ferrara. Here's Costa Curta mopping up again, but he hasn't got it very far away, and England in a position where they could throw it into the box if they want. Let's go short though. And now Batty. And here's Neville, not much wide of him. Beckham trying to move to the right, it had to go through the centre to Ince. Ravanelli wanted too much time. Neville, good advantage played by the referee. And Ferrara helps it on his way. Delivio scampering to save. That's a corner that even Shandor Poole would have had to give that time. But Delivio prevented the ball crossing the line. We heard from Roy Hodgson, the Englishman who coaches Inter in Serie A, talking about how used the Italian players are to playing under pressure. He came up with a very colourful phrase that they're used to performing with a knife held to their throat, such is the pressure. England trying to hold that knife at the moment.
Well, once again, the ball into the box is not good enough. He certainly got round the back of him on 2 or 3 occasions in the second half. McManaman, before he went off, allowed Cannavaro to get in the way of a cross, and that was a good situation there that I felt we should have exploited.
Come on by Cannavaro. Ravanelli impeding Neville. England getting plenty of free kicks in this part of the pitch. The precious few within range of Peruzzi's goal. Beckham. And Francis shakes his head again.
Yeah, you expect better, from Beckham. He's a good deliverer of the ball, unopposed. He's going to be looking for Shiro or for Ferdinand.
10 minutes to go. Italy scored after 19 minutes of the 80 we've had. Gianfranco Zola. The referee heading too close to the players there. Matty managed to avoid him. Miskit by the Soap. England, remember, have never lost on home soil in the World Cup. And having 62% of the possession is not so far the recipe to bring parity. But the free kick count rising. The delay in the taking of this free kick. course, have a problem to deal with. England, with ambitions to host the World Cup finals, will be keen to avoid anything that might be construed as crowd trouble. Most of all, they want to get, at the moment, their sights focused on the finals in France. Shearer gets his head to it. Merson, and then from so close, Sol Campbell, whose touch was crucial on the one goal that we've seen in England's net.
Well, surely this must be a corner. Well, perhaps not. It's certainly another good chance. Merson, slightly wide, gets his shot in.
And Italy survived. There haven't been too many moments when England have felt like that, coming so agonisingly close. But they're looking for the grandstand finish here against a nation that are masters of taking the heat out of the situation. Lasso. It is a corner to England. Treated with a certain amount of irony, the pointing this time. Beckham sprinting across to take it. Italy have pulled everyone back. Campbell, who went to meet it at the near post, and Peruzzi was given an easy task. This small, rather squat figure, teased in Italy for his size. He was actually banned for a year for being on an illegal slimming pill earlier in his career. And that slim lead that Italy have is still in place. And Hoddle and company blew every chance that England have to equalise that doesn't produce. A goal that, we were talking at the start about how we'd evaluate a drawn game here with England looking for the win. In this situation, England would be happy to take the draw. Well, it's the senior England players here at Wembley tonight. For Sky Sports viewers, it's the youngsters, the schoolboys, the start of the Victory Shield at Ninian Park tomorrow. England in action in Wales.
On this occasion, it was good refereeing there because he tried to play the advantage rule, thought Lasso may have gathered that ball, but brought it back when he realised he couldn't get to it.
The cross from Becker. Ravanelli's conspicuous white hair up to help head the ball away. Neville's cross. Ferdinand was trying to shoulder Ferrara out of the way, and that takes a bit of doing. Ravanelli. Ravanelli's offside. And just over 5 minutes left. England had won 3 out of 3 in the group. Italy closing in on making it 3 out of 3 themselves. Ince went offside there, although Merson was trying to come back, and I suppose that's open to interpretation.
Yes, Merson was offside. Nice and quick to raise his flag.
No votes for the man of the match, 0891 111101. Di Matteo, Zola. Here's Maldini. Radiating composure for Italy. These players have made much capital over the past few days. The Italian players coming here saying, well, we don't expect the atmosphere, even a Euro 96 style support for England to be too different with what we deal with week in, week out in our club football. Mercer almost sliding it through for Becker. Gino Baggio colliding with Ince, who has been penalised. For the most part, Trevor, and Italy have needed a little bit of character and inspiration extra, they've had it.
Yes, they've been comfortable, haven't they? Virtually for the whole 90 minutes. I can only recall one outstanding chance that we've actually had. That fell to Letizia with his head when Peruzzi came out and got nowhere near the cross. But apart from that, we've never really threatened to score.
Well, England might do now. Ince able to line it up. Beaten out again by Peruzzi. His style of save ricocheted well out of the penalty area. Maldini in the right place to defend. Ravanelli a bit lucky and losing the ball quickly enough. Pearce. Over Ferdinand. Met by Maldini. Zola. Pressed by Batty, but not discomforted by him. Di Matteo. Ravanelli. Now Maldini. Quite in harmony with Ravanelli's run. While Ian Wright was brought on late in Georgia in different circumstances. A flick from Ferdinand. Merson on the gallop. Wright has to wait. Because the game goes on with the throw. Peruzzi was almost being impeded there by Campbell. Headed back in by Batty. Shearer! And Peruzzi, when he's been needed, has done pretty much everything that Italy have required of him. Albertini.
Well, this is an excellent save, isn't it, from Peruzzi? Possibly offside there, Campbell, but the linesman allows it to go. And Peruzzi is so quick off his line to smother the shot of Shearer.
David Batty has gone off. Ian Wright is on. And we're dealing with seconds here. England, who came here wanting to win and set Italy back, still trying to salvage some reward from a game in which scoring the first goal was always going to be particularly crucial. And Gianfranco Zola was able to do that. Here he is in the 90th minute of the match. Campbell. Di Matteo. Still, even though that didn't work out, with the calmness that Italy have shown throughout, and Costa Curta likewise. Ferrara. They feel they've got England's measure. They feel they're worthy of what will be a wonderful win for them. And a very disheartening defeat for England. It's a question of time added on now. Glenn Hoddle's selection kept secret for so long, but when the plans were called for out on the pitch, they haven't been able to deal the head coach a winning hand. And even a sign of a little breakdown of communications there between two of the England players, Ince and Neville. Italy will dilly-dally over this free kick, and you can hardly blame them.
Yeah, Ince was annoyed with Neville because he wanted the throw-in to be taken much quicker.
Well, it's going to be just a tactical change now to use up a bit of time, and the goal scorer is going off. Diego Fuser to come on for Zola. The referee looking conspicuously at his watch. So Costa Curta Lots of pull towards Ravanelli. Ferrara. England need to get the ball. Ferrara stops that. Through there. Fitting in snugly. Now Campbell. Another look at the watch from Shandor Poole. It's England's first defeat on home soil in a World Cup context. A magnificent night for Italy. Gianfranco Zola's goal after 19 minutes, delighting their new coach with the old values, Cesare Maldini. The Italians have made themselves firm favourites for the automatic route to France. This was the goal that did it. England with such high hopes under Glenn Hoddle after 3 straight wins. Trevor Francis brought down to earth with a wallop at Wembley tonight.
Yes, and I don't think we can have too many complaints. It wasn't an outstanding performance from Italy, but they were so organised. I think in Zola, the outstanding player on the field, great technical ability. He's the match winner, and they certainly deserve to win the game.
All is not yet lost for England. Still half their group games left, including the return in Italy in October, and there is room for recovery. But on a night when the right result was imperative, the impetus from it has gone to Italy, and they in turn go to their supporters, many of whom I'm sure based here in this country. England's much-changed team go off, head bowed. Matt Le Tissier there summing it up so much. A night of real disappointment, and let's get an instant reaction from England's captain Alan Shearer, who's with Nick Collins.
Well, Alan, commiserations. It wasn't for want of trying, but why didn't it happen for England tonight?
It just didn't happen. We've had 1 or 2 half chances. We've never really created a good chance. We've kept them at bay. I mean, all the second half were in their half, but without creating a decent chance.
Ultimately, do you think the experience that was missing because of the injuries to the likes of Seaman, Gascoigne and Adams was crucial?
Well, you're going to miss players like that because they're world-class players and quality players. But having said that, the players that have come in couldn't have done any more. We've worked extremely hard, and as you said, it wasn't for the one to try, but it wasn't to be.
Can England still qualify, do you think, despite this setback?
Yeah, of course we can qualify. We said before the game it would make it extremely difficult for us. But having said that, both teams have still got to go to Poland. Sneaky feeling they'll take something. We've still got to go to Italy. We know it's going to be extremely hard, but what can we do?
Psychologically, they must have a huge edge, though, now. It's England's first World Cup defeat at Wembley.
Yeah, they've got an edge, of course they have, because they've got a game in hand now. If they win that, then they go 3 points clear. But as I said, both teams got to go to Poland. We've got to go over there. It's far from over.
All right, Alan, thanks for talking to us.
Italy favourites now. Next plate of pasta will stick in the throat, won't it? 1-0 as a result of Gianfranco Zola's goal there. Italy winners at Wembley tonight. Man of the match, give us a call. 0891 111101 is the number as usual. 0891 111101. And we'll be back with the thoughts of Ray Wilkins, Joe Royle and Brian Robson very shortly.